What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Daily Grind Fantasy official live stream for this 8-game NBA slate. Cannot wait to break it down. Hopefully everybody had a great Super Bowl Sunday. It was a great game. Sarcasm. TJ, I know you were enjoying watching Tom Brady kicking butt out there. At least somewhat, right? Bittersweet.
Bittersweet.
Yeah, but anyway, it was a fun day yesterday. We did fairly well in NBA. We also did very well in Super Bowl content. We actually had a bunch of takedowns yesterday in our Patreon chat. Yep. So many that I couldn't keep up. I could only post 5 to my Patreon posts. So shout out to everybody who crushed it yesterday. Let's continue on the success onto this crazy slate. We have a bunch of injury news here spread amongst 8 different games, TJ. So let's just go ahead and start with the chalk now. Houston is the most recent injury news that we've heard of. John Wall and Wood, along with Eric Gordon, officially being ruled out for these guys. So let's just start out with a bang here. Let's go over these guys. I said to you before the stream, all these guys have very low sample sizes in terms of actually playing with each other. So I had to get creative. I had to take a couple guys off the court to get a better idea of what's going on. So what's your take on this team? Right now we have Oladipo at 8.1K. We have DeMarcus Cousins at 7.1K. Are these guys worth it in cash?
Yeah, so we actually just got the starting lineup for that game too, Matt.
Did we?
Houston.
Okay.
It looks like, Oladipo will play tonight and rest tomorrow. So it is Oladipo, Daniel House, Tate, Tucker, and Boogie. So no Sterling Brown entering the starting lineup. He'll come off the bench. I do like Boogie, obviously, Matt, at 7,100, especially against Charlotte, showing 50-ish% ownership at 7,100. So I do think he is viable. There's somewhat of a sample size there with all those guys that you alluded to off the floor, and Wall, Eric Gordon, and Christian Wood. Gets a 3% usage bump. He's a 1.39 fantasy point per minute. So we have him pegged for 44.4 DraftKings points. So I do like Boogie in cash. Oladipo, excuse me. I think you can go there. I don't know if I'm going to. Look, there's so much value on today's slate. It's going to be so hard to hone in on one line and, not have FOMO on, missing out on several other awesome plays that we do have tonight. So if you're going to Oladipo at 8,100, I don't hate it. I don't know if I'll personally go there, but I do think Maddie's cash viable. Guy like Sterling Brown coming off the bench at 3,500 should see, a significant minute boost with all these guys being out. He gets a 1.5% usage bump with those 3 guys off the floor, and Eric Gordon, Wood, and Wall. He's a 1.24 fantasy point per minute. It was like a 52-minute sample size, I think. So I'm not putting all my stock into Sterling Brown being a 1.24 fantasy point per minute, but I do think he is going to be cash viable if you want to go there. Now that he's starting, I wouldn't be surprised if his ownership does dip a little bit. But yeah, I have so much interest here in Houston because there's those 3 guys being out. Those are all 3 significant guys for Houston. So yeah. I think I'll probably take Boogie in cash. If I'm making a one line for cash, it's going to be Boogie. And then I really think you can go to a lot of these other guys like Sterling Brown, Oladipo, like Daniel House, Tate, like Nwaba even. Like I think they're all going to be decent plays.
Right. You didn't even mention our sheet. It's because these guys actually don't show that well on their sheet, TJ. Oladipo really not having that good of a fantasy point per minute in the small sample size that he has. I think I had it at 0.85, 0.93. No, and I'm just extending on that exact point. We have no idea how these guys are going to play, but when you take 3 heavy usage guys off the court, well, guys, we have to use intuition here. Victor Oladipo, DeMarcus Cousins, I think start there with your lineups. I think Victor Oladipo isn't a must, but I think he's a very sharp play, especially against Charlotte. We didn't even talk about the matchup. A very good matchup here on both sides of the ball against Charlotte. So I like them. David Nwaba was showing very high ownership early on in the day, and now that he's not in the starting lineup, we can only suspect, TJ, that his ownership goes down here. Sterling Brown, yep, I think all these guys are cash viable. I completely agree with you. I think they are definitely fillers, and I wouldn't even mind stacking these guys, hoping that they do hit the over on their 110 projected points right now. Can definitely make for some sharp small GPP options for sure. All right, let's switch over. I want to go down the line here to Washington next because they draw the next amount of chalk. I think the most obvious play on the entire night, TJ, specifically comes from this team. I think you know who I'm talking about. Yeah. Starting at the very top here, 36% ownership on Bradley Beal. 9K is criminal, I think, regardless of whether Russell Westbrook plays or not. Are you going just him? Or are you going anywhere else here on this Washington Wizard lineup?
Yeah, so it's pretty evident that Washington, as a whole team, obviously Bradley Beal included, are not having fun this year. 5-13. There was a quote from Bradley Beal saying there's no laughter, there's no communication. So everybody in Washington just hates their lives right now. But from a DFS perspective, Matt, yeah, including you, with no Westbrook and Bradley Beal at 9K. Like, yeah, I mean, that's a criminal price tag with Westbrook off the floor. He gets a 4.7% usage bump. He's a 1.62 fantasy point per minute and a 41% usage rate. So I have Beal at 61.05 DraftKings points. So carrying a ton of ownership makes a lot of sense to me. I love him at that price tag in a really good matchup against Chicago. So Bradley Beal is going to be a lock for me in cash. If you're going elsewhere, I know we're probably going to get a lot of Raul Neto questions.
Yep.
I want to wait and see if he's starting or if Ish Smith is going to start. I think you can go there as like I think he kind of falls into like the punt cash play if you want, like kind of with Houston with like Sterling Brown. I don't know if I'll go there. If he's starting, I feel way more confident with him, but he's 3K. And if he gets 20 plus minutes, like he can pay off that price tag. Matt, at 21 minutes with Westbrook off the floor, he's a 1.1% usage bump, 0.93 fantasy point per minute. So if you're going to Raul Neto, I don't hate it. But Bradley Beal is going to be a cash lock for me. All these other guys probably going to be tournament plays. Alex Len is just the salt of the earth. That guy's the worst. But yeah,
you don't
Bradley
like him
Beal for cash
tonight?
No, I hate him.
Why? Why?
Okay, and then Raul Neto as a filler if you're going there.
What if he starts tonight? You don't like Alex Len tonight? He only played 6 minutes last night. All right, moving on. So let's go. I want to backtrack here real quick, TJ, and go to Charlotte. I just wanted to jump to the most obvious cash options. No, I wanted to go to the most obvious cash options before we backtracked. I'm moving on to Charlotte to see if Devontae Graham actually impacts any one of these guys. So when we take him off the court, TJ, what's your overall take here about this team here?
So I do have. Hold on, Matt. I do have to text my mom because she just called me. I have to say streaming, Mom. Okay, she's probably watching. That's what she does. So when we take Devontae Graham off the floor, Matt, I do have some interest here, but mostly she left me a voicemail. Mostly tournament plays. A guy like Hayward gets a 1.3% usage. Now she texts me back. Thumbs up. Okay. 1.3% usage bump for Hayward, 1.16 fantasy point per minute, 26.4% usage rate. So I like him as a tournament play. We saw what Zeller did last game. He was absolutely electric. Now
only in 20 minutes too.
What's happening?
What are you doing?
There we go. 20 minutes against Washington. Yeah, went for 34 DraftKings points. So almost a 2 fantasy point per minute, 1.7 technically. So I do like Zeller if he does get the minutes. I have some interest in Rozier a little bit too, PJ Washington. So yeah, these are just gonna be tournament plays. I don't have any interest in cash. People might go to like LaMelo Ball or Hayward, but I'm off of them tonight in terms of a cash core. But yeah, I think there's some interest there in tournaments for sure.
Yeah, I think just tournament plays here. Absolutely agree with you. I think PJ Washington's probably going to be one of my favorites just because he's averaging over a fantasy point per minute at a 5.7K price tag. Definitely a good matchup for him too, and he's just getting overlooked. I feel like PJ Washington's one of those guys that always gets overlooked on this team when there's injuries impacting him. Moving along, let's go over back to the Washington game with Chicago. We know that Wendell Carter Jr., Markkanen, and Otto Porter Jr. are all out for these guys. This is the highest over-under, TJ. So are you going to be stacking this game? And if you are, who are you taking from Chicago for cash?
Yeah, Matt, big time. I have a lot of interest here. Levine with all those guys off the floor. 7.1% usage bump, 1.53 fantasy point per minute, 36.4% usage rate. I have him for 58.99 DraftKings points. Really like Levine. Excuse me. Carrying some ownership. I do like him tonight a lot. I like him and Beal stacking this game.
Yeah.
Highest over-under that we do have on the slate, obviously. I have interest in Patrick Williams as long as he does start, which I assume he would again at 5,100, projected for 34 minutes, 3% usage bump, 0.99 fantasy point per minute. So do the math. He's basically a 1 fantasy point per minute guy. Multiply it by however minutes he's playing and see if he's going to pay off that price tag at 5,100, which he should. Denzel Valentine, I also really like as long as he starts again at 4,800, Matt. He gets a 1% usage bump, 1.04 fantasy point per minute. Have him pegged for 29.3 DraftKings points. And then a guy like Satoransky, again, going to be a punt tournament play for me. We talked about him last time on the stream when he was, I think he was 3,100, played 27 minutes against Orlando, easily paid off that price tag, went for 10 times value, gets a little bit of a usage bump with these guys off the floor, 1.29 fantasy point per minute off the bench. Again, I don't believe that holds true. It did last game. So maybe he really is a 1.3 fantasy point per minute player off the bench. That's what it's looking like, but I have him pegged for 28.5 DraftKings points. So I do like him as a punt tourney play. Thad Young, good spot. Like, I like these guys. I like the Bulls. I like this game. Unfortunately, like I wouldn't be surprised if my cash lineup had Beal, Levine, and one of Valentine and Pat White in it. Honestly, Pat Williams, excuse me.
You said Pat White last time too. What is up with that?
Because the Kobe White and
Yeah,
Patrick
I
Williams
get
are
it.
always right next to each other, and it's like my brain is
Yeah.
just bad. I have bad brain.
I
So yeah,
you guys
Patrick
know
Williams.
my stance on minutes, and I'm going to take the most minutes here with the value. I think Patrick Williams is a fantastic play, averaging 0.98 fantasy points per minute, if I am correct. And 0.99. Okay. 0.1 off or 0.01 off. Denzel Washington, also a fantastic option at $5,800 or $4,800. 30 minutes, also a good fantasy point per minute player as well. So both of these guys playing a lot of minutes in a high over under. I think they have to go out of their way to not hit value. And then yes, also Zach LaVine. I think Kobe White's definitely more of a GPP option. Same thing with Sadaransky and Thaddeus Young. Pretty much agreeing with everything you just said, TJ. I'm sorry if I'm annoying, but I do agree there. I think you start your cash lineups, TJ, from these first two games here with Houston, Washington, and some Chicago. I think those are the most obvious plays so far on the slate.
Yep.
All right. Let me hear where you want to go next, TJ.
Let's just keep going.
Keep going down the line? Oh, boy.
Sure.
This is going to be a long string.
Memphis.
All right, Toronto. Who do you like from Toronto? Right now, we're probably just talking about one specific guy, just like we always do. Yes?
No, well, they're all tournament plays. It's between Van Vliet, Siakam, and Lowry. Always. I kind of like the matchup for Siakam against the Memphis
Did I say
Bigs
Denzel Washington?
7,900. Yeah, you did. Yeah, I didn't want to say anything because you're unbelievable. He gives me shit about saying Pat White, and my man's talking about one of the greatest actors ever. So I don't know. So yeah, Matt, I do have some interest there. I kind of like Siakam at 7,900. I think he would be my play. But besides that, all tournaments. I have some more interest on the Memphis side of the ball. Honestly, I got some sneaky plays.
All right, so Fred VanVleet being my favorite option here at 5.6 point per dollar value according to our sheet.
I like Siakam, but yeah.
Siakam is also pretty good. But yeah, all GBP options for me. Memphis, I feel like they always have so many people out for their team, TJ, but they're never the same people. What are we doing with these guys? Like, are you going to have any interest in any one of these guys on this team?
The one guy that sticks out to me, Matt, is going to be Kyle Anderson at 5,700. So we saw Val make the transition to the bench. They're staying with Tillman at the 5, which was interesting. We haven't seen that confirmed tonight, and they actually played Gorgui Zhang too. So if they run those two at the 4 and 5 tonight again, I do have some interest in Kyle Anderson at 5,700. With all these guys off the floor, so like Brandon Clark, who else is out for them that's been significant? Melton, that's really it. All these other guys really haven't played. Tilly, Porter, Justice Winslow still hasn't played. Jaren Jackson hasn't played. Okay. McDermott, neither. So when I'm looking at this, Matt, Kyle Anderson is kind of sneaky good at 29 minutes at 5,700, 2.6%.
You have him on job market, right?
1.19 fantasy point per minute. Oh yeah, big time. I have him at a 23% usage rate as well. I have him pegged for 35.4 DraftKings points. So I do like Kyle Anderson as a tournament play. Might be one of my favorite ones today.
Yeah, I think Kyle Anderson's one of the most average players in the NBA, averaging just about a fantasy point per minute. So definitely like him. Also like him because of our pool the other day. Kyle Anderson, yeah, fantastic play, $5,700, a good mid-tier option, and what should be a relatively competitive game. Right now, Toronto's only favored by 2 points. Don't know if I agree with that, but they're playing at home, so can't hate on Vegas for that. Going down to Minnesota and Dallas. Minnesota rather is without Karl Anthony Towns and Culver, and also has D'Angelo Russell pending. Do you have any interest here?
And Hernangomez. It's all dependent on whether those guys are going to play or not. They're 10-point dogs on the road. Like, I'm not going to have too much interest here. If D'Lo does sit, Matt, and Hernangomez isn't back, like, yeah, I'll show some interest in like Malik Beasley, potentially Anthony Edwards, although that price tag's creeping up. Yeah, Naz Reid at 6K. I mean, these guys, the price tags are starting to get up there, but even still, like, those are the 3 guys I would be interested in. But that's still pending to see, if D'Lo's out. If D'Lo's in, I'm probably going to stay away.
Yeah, D'Lo, the biggest benefactor there right now, for really anybody throughout the roster. Switching over to Dallas, any interest whatsoever? These guys have nothing on their injury report other than
none.
Johnson, none.
Yeah, James Johnson is questionable. If anything, it's Luka. He's not carrying the highest ownership tonight. I don't know tonight in cash, but if his ownership's going to be less than 10%, I love him for tournaments at 11K. The only thing I'd be worried about is a blowout here, but he's a 1.57 fantasy point per minute with everybody healthy and a 36% usage rate. So we know what Luka can do in competitive games. Just dropped a 70 bomb against Golden State. It's something he's capable of night in and night out, as long as, he can hit some shots and, stay in a game that is competitive. I don't know if Minnesota really offers that. But again, I do like him for tournament.
Yeah, I think Porzingis is always in play as well. Take one or the other. One of them has to have a ceiling game, especially against Minnesota. Switching down to Golden State. Golden State is without their big guys yet again. Draymond does pop on their sheet just a little bit. Averages has been doing pretty well fantasy point per minute wise. 6.8K right now, projecting 32 minutes at 5.4 point per dollar value at $6,800 though. Just a GPP option for me. Kelly Oubre, 6K. Do you have any interest for him in cash?
Oubre? No,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I just want to talk about Draymond's performance against Dallas last game.
Yep.
Matt, he didn't have a bucket.
Oh, he didn't have a bucket. I remember seeing that.
Free throws and went for 48.5 Draftkings points. He had 6 steals and 4 blocks. That's 20 points right there. That's absolutely insane. He had 7 turnovers too. And a 16% usage rate. Like the craziest stat line I've seen so far this year in terms of DFS. And he like 48 draft. Crazy.
The most points he scored too.
Yeah. So I'll have a little more interest if Pascal sits in guys like Draymond, Wiggins, Oubre, and JTA. But if Pascal's back with the knee,
he should be too.
I'd probably be off these guys. Yeah, it's still pending. So if he's out, yeah, I'll have some interest. But if he's not, then no, not really.
Yeah, Spurs and Golden State, the third highest over under, almost tied with the second highest. So that's the only reason I like them. But I do have more interest here, TJ, from the Spurs side. We know Lonnie Walker and Aldridge are out, so that definitely impacts one specific guy. I think we're both. Yeah. I think we're both. Thinking about the same guy here, DeMar DeRozan. What a beast he's been the past 2 games. It's funny. People hate DeMar DeRozan in our Discord.
With DeRozan.
Yep, keep dancing with him. TJ is going to be the DeMar DeRozan caller here pretty soon. So 6.1 point per dollar value, TJ. What's your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I had him as cash locks the last 2 times, Matt, against Minnesota and Houston. The price tag continues to go up. He's at 7,700. Even still, I think that is a little too cheap without LaMarcus Aldridge and Lonnie Walker on the floor, Matt. 4.9% usage bump, 1.34 fantasy point per minute, 28.5% usage rate in a competitive game that we should see against Golden State. I love me some DeMar DeRozan tonight. Again, he would be my favorite play from the Spurs. Also have some smaller interest in Keldon Johnson and DeJounte Murray. Also Derek White. I don't hate it, 5,100. But if I'm going anywhere, it's DeMar. Yeah, I'm dancing with DeMar. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to take him on my one line.
I'm going to also dance with the best player in the NBA right now, DeMar DeRozan. DeJounte Murray, also not that bad of an option. 32 minutes, 5.5 point per dollar value, TJ. I think definitely GPP worthy. I was actually really confused to see DeMar DeRozan's ownership only at 15.3%. So I do like him for GPPs. He's definitely going to be cash viable, I think, as a last spot. And you say you might even lock him in, so I'd like to hear that. Derek White, also not that bad of an option at 5.1K, 29 minutes, a 5.5 point per dollar value without Lonnie Walker on the court. And also, Keldon Johnson is not that bad of an option as well, projected at 30 minutes. Going down the list here, we have Cleveland versus Phoenix. I only want to talk about one guy here from
2 guys
from Cleveland. Okay, you want to talk about Drummond too?
Yeah.
Okay. Taurean Prince, I really like. 30 minutes, has been averaging over a fantasy point per minute at 4.3K since being on this roster, TJ. I really do like him. I think he's borderline cash viable, honestly. I think just with him playing the extreme minutes that he's been playing. What are your thoughts here with Taurean Prince?
Yeah, if he does play minutes, Matt, and he can get to that like 28 to 30 minute threshold, like, yeah, I do think he's viable. I don't know if I'll go there tonight in cash, but I don't hate him as a last piece. Like, or if you're looking for a cheap option and you're in that range, like you can think about playing him. 0.9 fantasy point per minute in the starting lineup. So if he continues to start and see minutes, I don't hate him. Cleveland's never going to carry a high over under or playing games where they're really in a high over under unless they're playing Brooklyn or, Atlanta or the Spurs, because the Spurs suck. No, or Washington. So yeah, I don't hate him at 4,300. Drummond, I am interested in, coming off a really good game against the Bucks. He played 30 minutes for the first time in a while, which was nice to see. First time in almost 2 weeks, week and a half, something like that. So I don't hate Drummond at 8,200 in this matchup against Phoenix. Like, I know he's going up against Ayton, but they're going to need his size.
For sure.
So I do like him at 8,200, more of a tournament play for me. But if this game can stay competitive, like I think Drummond could go 6-7 times value tonight.
Sure. I completely agree with everything you just said. Okoro always in the picture here too. 32 minutes, just being bottom of the barrel price tag, has hit value in some of the games where he's played over 30 minutes. So
once this season, maybe.
Let me
so bad.
Let me just check. No, he's hit it multiple times. Actually, a lot. Actually.
No.
So definitely a GPP option for me from Cleveland. Sure. Going over to Phoenix. Phoenix, DeAndre Ayton is carrying some ownership. I think he's going to be the only cash viable guy from this team, TJ. Just because of his price tag, he definitely passes the eye test here. Ayton at $6,900. Do you have any interest in cash?
No, not in cash. We're pending Chris Paul, and that's huge because if Chris Paul is out, Matt, we're looking at a guy in Devin Booker that doesn't get too high of a usage bump, only 0.5% usage, but he becomes, instead of a 0.9 fantasy point per minute, which he's been this year, a 1.2 fantasy point per minute and a 31% usage rate. So if Chris Paul is out, I love Booker tonight at 7,400. I don't know if it's just recency bias because every single time he plays the Celtics like he did yesterday, he just absolutely torches us. Went for 48 DraftKings points, look really good. So I'm going to be monitoring that situation with Chris Paul. I'd love to get that before a lock. It's not going to happen. But yeah, I do have interest in Booker, and obviously 8 net 6,900. I like that price tag on him. I don't know if I'll go there. I think Booker is going to be my favorite play if Chris Paul is out.
Yep, I completely agree with you, and that is huge news from Chris Paul. You guys might want to hold a couple of GBP lineups out just in case Chris Paul does get ruled out.
No, he isn't, so no. Keep going.
Oh, he is a stud. I don't know why TJ's hating. The next game, TJ, is actually personally my favorite game to target for GBPs. Ooh. I kid you not.
I like it.
Do you know why? Because the Milwaukee Bucks, I mean, they've been in blowouts all season long, but specifically the past 4 games, they have been in blowouts. Because of that, DraftKings has priced all the price tags very, very low. Talking specifically about Middleton at $7,500, Giannis at $10.9K, Brook Lopez at $4,800. I can keep going down the list. All of these guys are so cheap. DiVincenzo at $4.9K, and I have to talk about their ownerships. Chris Middleton, 9%. Giannis, 7%. Everybody else below 1% ownership. Are you kidding me? In a what should be competitive matchup versus Denver. TJ, do you think the exact same way as I do here for this matchup?
I mean, Giannis, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, Matt. I love them all in this matchup against Denver and what could be a competitive game. So
yeah,
on the road too, traveling to Denver, high altitude. Maybe they're getting tired, Matt. We always talk about when football teams travel to Denver, everybody gets tired. Maybe Milwaukee's going to be tired. Maybe this game's going to stay competitive. They're not going to blow the doors off.
That's the only reason that they should stay competitive is when they get tired. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's because they're tired. No, but I do like Milwaukee. I like your logic there. All these ownerships are way too low.
Oh, I think we lost him.
I love that.
I
love that a lot. So
hold on.
I agree with you there.
TJ, you just lagged like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I missed you like for the past 5 to 10 seconds. So, are you back? Can you talk?
Yeah, I chewed on a gummy bear. I had to swallow it. It was messing.
Are you okay? I think you're back. I think we're good.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
So what I got from that is that you like the Bucks.
I like the Bucks.
Okay. All right.
I like the Bucks. Love gummy bears.
Got it. Let's move on to Denver. And I'm going to say the exact same thing about Denver here, assuming that they can stay competitive. Guys like Jokic, 5.9% ownership. Barton, 4.1%. All these guys are carrying such low ownership. Do you agree with these guys as well?
Yep, 100%. Keep an eye on Jamal Murray. If he's out, I have more interest here. If Jamal Murray's out, Michael Porter Jr., I'm going to be obsessed with tonight at 6,100. I don't really have any stock in it, but just give me a competitive game where he's going to play 30-plus minutes. I'm throwing out that last game against Sacramento where he actually did see some time. But I do like him at 6,100. So yes, Matt, same thing. I love this game to stack for tournaments because I think it's going to be competitive and all these ownerships are way too low.
And it's the second highest over under. Like, are you kidding me? Give me all this low ownership specifically from guys like Middleton and Giannis in this matchup. Last but not least, let's talk about OKC. What a mess. I feel like we always talk about these guys, and lately they've just been annoying. So with these guys being ruled out officially, talking about Muscala, Ariza, Hill, Roby, Jerome, whatever. Who do you like from this roster, TJ? They're annoying.
Wow, Matt.
I mean, this is a low over-under. I don't want to take these guys.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough to ignore SGA, especially what he did last game against Minnesota. Now, barring going up against the Lakers, it's not the same type of defense that you saw in Minnesota. But I don't hate him at 8K. Maybe as the last piece if you're going there. But all these other guys, Matt, like they're going to play minutes. So I do like them in tournaments like Lou Dort and Baisley. I have some interest in Al Horford too, but 104 over under, like it's a really tough matchup for them. So I'm not in love with the OKC guys, even though they have a short rotation.
Yeah, the spread's at 10 points right now, so this does have a little bit of blowout potential too. Diallo at 6K is showing high ownership. Do you like him for cash?
No.
You don't? Okay.
Nope.
I think I can agree with you. SGA, though, a fantastic GPP option. We have him on the sheet. It's like averaging 1.5 fantasy points per minute, I think, with these guys off the court, which is like something crazy.
Yeah, it's I have it right here. Hold on. It is a. Oh, I didn't do it actually because there's no sample size. There was like 8 minutes.
Yeah, I think I got creative with it.
You
SGA
probably left Muscala on.
I think that's what I did.
That's what I was looking at. Yeah, because that's what I was looking at.
SGA a beast with those guys off the court. Anyway, with the Lakers, I feel like we're going to get a ton of questions about the Lakers, and I cannot wait for the Kuzma questions. So, the big thing with Kuzma, guys, is if he plays minutes, if he starts, yes, he's a decent play. But outside of that, if he's coming off the bench, usually not a good play, specifically when AD's off the court. TJ, who do you like from this team with AD being out?
So it's tough to ignore LeBron. 2.1% usage bump, Matt, with 80 off the floor, 1.48 fantasy per minute, 34.2% usage rate. But again, I'm not really in love with this matchup. So I don't hate LeBron, but I don't think I'll go there in cash. Like if you do land on him, like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, he's pretty expensive.
I don't know if I'm going to. Yeah, he is. So I'm looking at what happens if this game blows out. A guy like THT, Matt, at 3,900 projected at 21 minutes right now. If this game's a blowout in the fourth, like we could see THT play 24, 26 minutes and you know, I have him at 21 minutes projected. He's a 1.3% usage bump with 80 off the floor, 1.02 fantasy point per minute, 22% usage rate. I have him pegged for 21.7 DraftKings points. Hypothetically, let's say he plays 26 minutes, I would have him for 27 DraftKings points. So I do like THT as a cheap punt option in tournaments. I also like Marc Gasol.
I love Marc Gasol. I was waiting for you to say it.
1% usage bump with no AD, 1.12 fantasy point per minute. Like, give me some
Can't ignore it. Can't ignore it.
You can't.
So cheap, too.
He's not going to play a lot of minutes, and if this game blows out, he'll play, 16. But if it's competitive and he plays 20, 22, like I think he can get you value at 3,300. I think he can get you 20 plus. So I do like him as a punt tournament play as well. So those are the guys that I would be looking at.
Yeah, completely agree with
you.
you.
Also questionable, which is big.
You didn't even talk about Kuzma. Do you like him or not?
I didn't even talk about Schroeder either, going up against his former team at 5,700. Do I like Kuzma at 5,200? If he starts, sure. I think his ownership would go up a little bit. Again, I don't know. I have a lot of interest in games, unfortunately. So if you're looking for tournaments and you're not playing cash, or if you're playing cash, I would go for those, the Houston, Washington, Chicago, like those are the games I want to target. If you're looking for tournaments, maybe fade those first two games or like maybe pick one or two guys and then kind of wait for this later news and kind of try and build a crazy tournament lineup because, Chris Paul pending is huge. We didn't even mention Jamal Murray is pending as well. He didn't play last game.
That's true. We didn't.
Caruso's also pending. That could mean some more significant minutes for some of those bench guys for the Lakers. So like Wes Matthews, Markieff Morris. So a lot of interest in these later games, but more so tournaments, Matt. If you're going to Kuzma, I don't hate it, but I just don't know if I'm going to do it tonight.
Yeah, I agree with you. We're getting a bunch of questions. We're getting some questions about Montrezl Harrell and some of these other guys.
Trez.
Do you like Montrezl Harrell at all?
Yeah, Trez could be a guy that could play 30 minutes if this game blows out as well. So I do like him as a tournament play, but I'm not going to go there in cash. Like Schroeder, Trez, THT, Gasol, like tournament plays for me. If you're landing on LeBron, I don't hate it at 10-5. And if you're landing on Kuz, as long as he starts at 5,200, I don't hate it. Schroeder too, man. I do have a lot of interest in the Lakers now that I'm actually honing in on it. But it's probably going to be tournaments.
Personally, for me, my favorite options are going to be THT and also Marc Gasol. Just like you said, if you think back to the other night, TJ, if once the 76ers did, I think they were getting blown out, or they did blow out. I forget what way it was. Maxey ended up playing that fourth quarter stretch. He was safe in blowouts, and I think THT is definitely safe here in this matchup. And I think he overall, even if he only plays 22 minutes, he's going to be a fantastic play. So THT, load me up for that. I think he's a very safe tournament play, as weird as that is to say out loud. And then also Marc Gasol is also not that bad of an option as well. All right, you ready to bring this all together and start answering some questions?
Yeah, let's do
we covered the entire slate. So, all right, as of right now, TJ, give me 4 to 5 cash locks for the people.
For the people. Okay, this is for the people.
So if I were to be giving is fifth highest on the list in terms of ownership. Just FYI.
Yeah, I know. I would be going Boogie and Beal. I would be going one of Denzel Valentine and Pat Williams.
Okay.
I think I'd be going Zach LaVine too, Matt.
Zach LaVine. Okay. I don't hate that at all.
And then, I think you have options. Raul Neto's cheap. Sterling Brown's cheap if you're trying to fill out. Daniel House carrying some ownership if 100 starting, probably going to play north 30 minutes. Nwaba at 4,100 carrying some ownership as well. But I think I'd start with Boogie Beal, one of Denzel Valentine and Patrick Williams, and then Levine. Like, I think that's kind of where my heart lies.
I think you can get both of them in there. I think Denzel Valentine and Pat Williams are definitely great options. Like I said, I think they're my favorite value plays on the slate. DeMarcus Cousins, Bradley Beal, I'll say Valentine, and also Patrick Williams for me. I also think that DeMar DeRozan should be up there near a cash lock for me. Personally, just looking at stats, TJ. Victor Oladipo throw in the mix too. We know what he should do in this matchup. Again, using intuition. I mean, he's literally the highest usage guy on this team right now. Makes no sense for him not to score well. So having exposure to that San Antonio Golden State game, I think, is a near must as well, since it's the third highest over/under on the slate. In case for some reason this Washington Chicago game doesn't shoot out, and then also grabbing some exposure to that Houston Charlotte game as well. But yeah, those are the cash locks here today. Let's go ahead and get to questions, TJ. We have about 20 minutes left in the stream.
Let's do it.
All right.
You start with Patreon. I'm gonna go to the top and see what we got.
Yes,
my eyes hurt. Not great. Kind of hurt. Kind of itch them. Hold on. Fudge. All right, Matt. What do you got over there, man? Come on.
I'm sorry. Nothing. I got distracted. Rozier, Beal, Brown, Williams, Draymond, Van Vliet, Frank, Horford. Frank. Who's Frank?
Kaminsky? I hope that's tournaments.
Yeah, it's definitely tournament. I think that's a little too contrarian. I'd get a little bit closer.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, I don't hate it. What do you think of Ben McLemore as a punt play, TJ? Good question.
No.
No?
No.
Let me check. How many minutes is he even getting?
15, probably. 20, if that.
19.
No.
I will say yes, that is viable. But just make sure it's a punt GPP option. Do not include him in cash.
Make sure he actually hit some threes tonight.
Yeah, make sure he does that. Yep. All right, go ahead. You're good. Take the floor.
That's it.
Why do you look like you're in pain? You in pain?
Yeah, my eyes.
Okay.
Charlotte, the best team in the league, guarding against pick and roll guards. Thank you, Grant. How you feeling, Matt? Aaron wants to know.
5 out of 10. 10 being the worst.
So
rude, dude.
Denzel Washington.
How are you so rude?
Denzel Washington and Pat White. We know what we're talking about. Denzel Washington training day or Denzel Washington man on fire? Definitely man on fire. Matt has vodka in his water. Probably. Is Nas Reed cash viable if D'Lo doesn't play? I don't hate him. I don't think he's cash viable, but I like him as a tournament play. I mean, he's been really good. So I don't hate him. 6K price tag is going to scare a lot of people off, probably. He has been hitting 5 times. Yep. Who has the most upside, Matt? I would say
Giannis.
Yeah, I was going to say Giannis probably has the most upside, honestly.
I just want to reiterate, guys, I love that Milwaukee matchup for GPPs. Absolutely love it.
The projected ownership you guys have is for GPPs, correct? Yes.
Big GPPs.
DeMar is nasty. So no, you're nasty. Always dancing with DeMar. Yes, Andrew, let's dance tonight again. Okoro is a stud. So no, just don't. Houston starting Oladipo. House. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ryan. Brooke Lopez said Tommy. Okay. Matt likes Brello.
I do.
Chewed on a gummy. Yeah, CW. I chewed on a gummy bear. I ate a gummy bear. I don't know. My brain's mush. Derek White or Monty Morris if Murray is out. Oh boy. Probably Monty Morris for me. For cash, Kyle Anderson and Sterling Brown or Kuzma and Sadaransky. I'd probably say Kyle Anderson and Sterling Brown, honestly. I know Matt's not gonna. Dude, I kind of like Kyle Anderson a lot.
Do you know what I've gathered about this community in general? For the DFS community, they love Kuzma. You guys all love Kuzma, and I don't. I don't know what it is.
Starts, I don't hate it, but
again, he's an average play at that. I don't know.
NATO, Sadaransky, Sterling Brown, Kuz, Boogie, Derek White, Giannis, Joker in tournaments.
You guys love Kuz.
Giannis and Joker. I like that, Nick.
Ooh, I like that too.
Yeah, that's good. Welcome to being an OKC fan. Grant, no one, Kuz, 100% will start. Yeah, Jashim, I agree with you. He's going to start the season. Don't hate it. What about Montrez? We talked about Trez. What's the best way to make a bunch of different lineups quickly? Optimizer,
Fantasy Cruncher, Rotogrinders. You can keep going down the list. Saber Sim, all these viable options.
Best option at DK, Matt, for shitballs. Where am I? 6,800. Best forward.
6,800.
Yeesh. I'd say Draymond if Pascal's out.
Oh yeah. I like him. I just like him regardless. TJ. I think he's a good.
Actually,
I think he has some good upside today. I really do.
Yeah. GPP lineup. We got John Morant, Nwaba, Pat Williams, Draymond, Boogie, Booker, Middleton, and Kleber. That's different. I don't hate it. Kendrick Williams for value in tournaments seems blowout proof. Yeah, I think he is blowout proof. Honestly, I don't hate him as a punt tournament play, but I don't like him. But yeah, I don't hate it if you're going there. He could play 30+ minutes. Fade LeBron for blowout risk. Liam, I like the way you're thinking.
He does have blowout risk for sure.
Booker if CP3 is out or DeRozan. Oh God.
I like DeRozan.
I'm gonna have both. Honestly, I'll tell you that. If I'm playing THT, am I fading everybody else in that game and hoping for a blowout? Yeah, Tommy, you can.
He's blowout prone. I will say that, but I don't know about fading everybody.
I'd keep an eye on Caruso too. There. We got a lineup here, Matt. We got NATO. This is definitely gonna be FanDuel. NATO, Luka, Okoro, Brooks, Middleton, Rue Hachimura, Patrick Williams, Porzingis, and Jokic. For tournaments, yeah. For cash, no.
We didn't even talk about Hachimura. Hachimura's not a bad option tonight.
Yeah, he's not. I don't like Okoro, though. Matt does. And I don't like Dylan Brooks. I'd rather have Kyle Anderson. Could you play Valentine and Williams? Yes. I couldn't find the stream today. Hi, Tyler. Welcome. Thank you for finding it. Denzel Valentine or Brook Lopez? Denzel Valentine.
TJ's snappy today. What is wrong with him?
No, I'm just trying to get to everybody. I'm trying to make the people healthy. Jared said Grayson Allen or Bane with Melton out. Give me Bane. NATO for cash. I think you can go there, Thugga. Especially if he starts, he'll probably be one of the chalkiest plays. Best utility spot, 6.6K, Matt.
6 point what K?
6.6K.
Just, I'm sorry, position?
Utility, Matt. That means any position.
Thanks, TJ.
Yep. I think, oh man, I want to say Al Horford, but I kind of want to say Kobe White.
I like Kobe White. Yeah, I was just looking at him.
Give me no.
But I have COVID brain, so don't.
Yeah, give me Al. I don't like what Kobe White's been doing. Denzel Valentine starting. Give me Kobe White. Give me Al Horford. Excuse me. God.
I just sold Kobe White on Top Shot, so for what it's worth.
Good. Yep. Middleton or DeRozan? DeRozan for me. Horford today. Just talked about that, Tyler. Such a hard one for me, said Andrew. Yeah, I like DeRozan. Cash, NATO, Beal, THT, Prince, Joker, Valentine, Giannis, and Macklemore. I don't like Macklemore and Cash. I don't really like I agree. Get away with THT. Yeah, I don't like Macklemore. Kendrick Williams or Denzel Valentine? Denzel Valentine. Desmond Bane, a solid last piece. No Milton. I don't hate it, Matt. LaMelo today, not for me.
He's okay.
It's really expensive.
I don't hate him.
Okay, Ish Smith without Westbrook. If he starts, it depends on who's going to start with him or NATO. I would have entry starts there. Single entry tournament, man. We got NATO, Beal, THT, Patrick Williams, Boogie, Cousins, Valentine, LeBron, and Horford. Taking 2 guys from that OKC Lakers game. I don't hate it. I think that's going to be a little different. So I do like that. Another lineup here, Matt. We got NATO, Levine, Pat Williams, DeRozan, Cousins, Beal, THT, Valentine.
I got some questions
behind that lineup as well. Go ahead, Matt.
Cash, NATO, Beal, Williams, House, Cousins, Levine, DeRozan, Valentine. Don't hate that. House is going to be lower owned, but he's a decent play. In GPP, is there plenty of value on the slate to play both Giannis and Jokic, or is it best to play just one of them? I think there's enough value. I really do. I think there's a couple value plays with good minutes, specifically from Houston, the Lakers, and also Washington. So some good value along the slate here. Yeah. Good way to get contrarian. How's this to try and win the 100K? Oh, okay. Curry, Sadaransky, Levine, Sterling Brown, Siakam, Valentine, Giannis, Patrick Williams, Marcus Gasol. I do like that. That's FanDuel, though. I actually like that lineup. Yeah, there's a lot of good plays in there. Cash, NATO, Beal, Nwaba, Williams, Cousins, Oladipo, Prince, Levine. Prince is cash viable. Keep in mind, though, his ownership is low.
I don't know if I trust Oladipo.
You don't trust Oladipo? Yeah, I disagree. I don't think you prioritize Oladipo, but I don't hate him for cash. Nwaba's not that bad of an option either. I don't hate it. I would be hesitant at some of those ownerships, so I think that's more GPP. That's all the questions I have.
Okay. Giannis or Jokic for tournaments? Oh God.
Are we really gonna get this question all night, guys?
Yeah, flip a coin, man. That's. I go with Giannis, but that's way too tough to tell. TJ won with cash with Len, but good for you, Sam, man. Yeah. Len was.
Len's best play on the slate tonight.
Yeah. Denzel Valentine or Sterling Brown in GPP tournaments. I would go Sterling Brown. I think he's going to carry low ownership, but I do think Valentine presents a better matchup, and he'll probably play some more minutes. So, but if you want to get different, I'd probably go Sterling Brown. He's going to show probably half the ownership that Valentine will. I hate Kuz. I like Pope way better. I think I almost said CP3. I think KCP can bang some threes tonight. Hudson thinks he nailed my lineup. Nato, you're already wrong. Beal, DeRozan, Patrick Williams, Cousins, Levine, House, and Valentine. I do like that lineup. But that's not mine. And mine will probably change 1,000 times. DK Cash thoughts: Nato, Beal, Pat Williams, Kyle Anderson, Boogie, Levine, DeRozan, Sterling Brown. Now, guys, I do like Kyle Anderson tonight, but he's going to be a tournament play. I probably wouldn't go there in cash. He's going to show very low ownership.
Yeah.
Malik Beasley or Middleton for cash, Matt? I think we both would say Middleton, unless
I love
D'Lo's
Middleton
out.
tonight.
Yeah, if that's FanDuel and they're priced, oh god, similar. If they're similar in price, there we go. If they're similar in price, give me Middleton.
I will say this right now. I just want to like jump into this. The guys I'm going to be most overexposed to are going to be Middleton, DeRozan, Oladipo, and Levine for GPPs.
Hudson, Tommy's got that.
I think
lineup,
all
Hudson,
those guys
so
are great plays.
Right. Cash, we got Curry, Schroeder, Levine, DeRozan, Valentine, Porter, Green, Patrick Williams, and Cousin. Who is Green? Oh, Draymond. I don't hate that. Best point guard option at DraftKings under 5,600, man.
Under 56. Let's hear it. Let's go. Under 56. Under 56. Ooh.
I wish Schroeder was 50.
Yeah, I was literally just looking at it.
I would have said Schroeder. I would say Derek White, but if Jamal Murray is out, I would go to Monty Morris.
DiVincenzo's sneaky.
Why is everything lagging for me? Yeah, I'd say Monty Morris if Jamal Murray is out. So I'd probably put in Derek White and then pivot if he's out. Kuzma. Okay, cash lineup, Matt. We have Curry, Schroeder. I just read that. Yeah, I did. I like Green regardless. Curry can't play without him. Yeah, no. Matt agrees with you, as do I. I like what Draymond's been doing. He doesn't need to score to crush value. Clearly. What else do we have? Oh God, there's so many questions. Grant said Matt over. Okay, Grant. Kick Grant out. Middleton or DeMar? I like DeMar. I wasn't saying which of Bane. I was asking if. Oh yeah, Bane. I like Bane, Jared. If out of those two, Horford or Horford? Give me Horford.
Terrence Ross.
What's up with? No, Terrence Ross isn't even on the slate, Matt.
Okay.
What's up with Chris Paul? He's got a sore hammy. So rank Luka, LeBron, and Giannis 1 through 3. Giannis, Luka, LeBron. 4.4K forward, Matt. 4.4K. Let's see. 4.4K. Who do we got? I'd say Daniel House or.
Yep, he's a great
Prince
option.
for me.
Tarian Prince. Yep. Or Horton Tucker.
But yeah, but I do like House. Gay or House? Give me House. Nato and Levine or Morant and Kleber for tournaments. I like Nato and Levine. Victor, the play today. Matt likes him. Matt likes Victor. Keith had 20 fantasy points last time AD was out. Flat min price. Any interest? If you want to go there in tournaments, Nick, I don't hate it. Yeah, he's very cheap, but not for me. But again, if you're going to go tournaments, that's fine. Especially if this game could blow out. Markieff could get a lot of minutes in that fourth. 4,400 left. We just answered that, didn't we? Forward for cash. Tyler, we just answered that because Tommy had the same question. You guys must be having the same build right now. Deshaun Tate and cash. I don't hate Tate.
Yeah, I don't hate Tate either.
He's gonna play a lot of minutes at 4,800. So I think you can go there as a last piece if you want. I mean, you're gonna be picking between him and Daniel House, honestly. So I kind of don't hate either in cash as a last piece. I think I'd lean House. Is Rudy Gay a good risk? Yeah, I don't hate Rudy Gay. He's cheap, and we got no LMA, and we have no. Oh, hold on. I got distracted. I'm with you, TJ. I don't trust Oladipo. Chalk Oladipo, burn me twice. Justin, let's go, baby. Schroeder season, DSJ. I do like Schroeder. Is Rozier a good tournament play, Matt?
Yes, not bad.
Yeah, I don't hate him. Levine or Beal? Beal.
Yes.
Curry or Beal? Beal.
Yep. Beal's the best play in the slate.
Thoughts on SGA? I do like SGA. I'm just worried about a blowout. THT, we've talked about. We do love him. We think he's blowout proof if that game does blow out against OKC. So we like him as a tournament play. Wish Valentine was shoot. Yeah, me too, man. Thoughts on Markieff Morris from the Lakers? We actually just touched base on him. Mikal Bridges by any chance? I don't hate Mikal Bridges. I'd like him a lot more too if CP3's out. NATO for cash, Matt. You like NATO for cash?
I do like Native for cash. I think he's cash viable. I'm not going to lock him in though.
Okay. Gil said, "What's up with the lack of likes, people?"
What is up with that?
39
question.
likes, 270.
Wish I knew the answer.
Hey, it is what it is. Prince or house in cash, Matt? Ooh, I think you go house. I think, yeah, I go house. You agree?
Yes. Multitasking.
Okay, he's not paying attention. Okay, Matt, here we go. DSJ for dinner tonight. Chipotle, Taco Bell, Wendy's, or McDonald's?
Chipotle.
I think you go Chipotle, and if you're not feeling it, give me Wendy's. Crispy chicken sandwiches with ketchup. See, that got Matt's attention. Now he's paying attention. We have the same ladder, so Hudson has the same. Okay. Just got home from work. What's up? What's up, Waylon? How you doing, man? Thanks for popping in after work. Appreciate that. Shane, how are you guys making good GPP lineups without using NATO? I mean, Shane, he's gonna be a really good tournament option. Honestly, he's 3K, especially if he starts. Again, I said I'm gonna like one of Ish Smith or NATO. I just want to see who's starting. But yeah, you can definitely go there for sure if you want to use him in tournament. THT, House or Prince? Give me THT. GPP lineup. We got Rozier, Valentine, Pat Williams, Prince, Boogie, Sato, Giannis, and Middleton. I like that. Ooh, Giannis, Middleton stack, Matt. How do you feel about that?
I don't like those in big GPPs. One of those two guys has a ceiling game every time. It's usually not both of them. You know how I feel about that, TJ. Two superstars in one team. Same thing with like Beal and Westbrook.
Rozier and THT or Kuz and Derek White? Shitballs. That's tough. I think for cash, I would go Kuz and Derek White. For tournaments, I would go THT and Rozier. Is daily fantasy getting harder, or is it just me? Young Baba.
It's just you.
Every day's a grind, baby. No, every day is a grind. There are tough days. There are tough days. It's always tough. It's always, you're going up against the best of the best, especially everybody's, gets their information from guys like me and Matt, and we're just the best. So that's what happens. Tate or Valentine for tournaments? I'd say Tate, because Valentine's going to probably carry way more ownership than him. So get different. Go Tate. It's between House and Prince. Okay, you guys are between House and Prince. Yeah, that's a coin flip. Hudson, I kind of think House, but I like both of them. They both rate out well on the sheet. Prince rates out better on the sheet if that influences your decision. Matt, best forward 4,600 and under. I think mine's probably going to be JTA if Pascal is out.
I like Nwaba. I like Terry and Prince.
Yeah, Matt's stuck on Terry and Prince. Okay. Hey, Dave, what's going on, man? He said, hey, TJ. Hey, Matt. Thanks for popping in, Dave. Drummond or Siakam? Oh, I like Siakam. Oh, I like Drummond too. Give me Siakam.
I like Siakam for upside.
Okay. House or JTA? JTA if Pascal is out. If Pascal is in, I want House. Best center for cash, Matt.
Center for cash?
Yeah, I mean,
that's Boogie. Yeah, it's Boogie. 100%.
Yeah, it's got to be Boogie. If you're not going Boogie there in cash tonight, no, thank you. People getting home from work.
I don't see
getting home from school.
I don't see Cousins having a great game against Zeller. Get that out of here.
Okay. Draymond or DeRozan? DeRozan. I don't see Boogie have. Oh, Godly Mike said that was you. Godly Mike, it could happen, but in cash, I think you need him. I think he's gonna be like 70% owned again, even at 7,100. You go Cousins or you go Jokic for tournaments? I think you go Jokic. Matt still got COVID, or did it kick it? No, Mark, he's still got COVID.
Can't tell from my
just a
COVID
big,
brain.
strong boy. What's considered a small GPP, Matt?
Anything less than 100 people is my golden rule.
Okay. Another FanDuel lineup from Lance trying to win the 100K. He's got Ja Morant, Sato, Beal, Levine, Kyle Anderson, Valentine, Giannis, Patrick Williams, and Marcus All. I don't hate it.
I found the Millie Maker lineup.
Okay, Matt's got his Millie Maker lineup. Matt, you want to announce it to everybody?
No.
Is it Kenrick Williams, Valentine,
no,
Pat?
I changed it again.
Okay. GPP lineup from DV8. We got NATO, Beal, Anderson, Rudy Gay, Boogie, Levine, Brown, so Sterling Brown, and Drummond. I like that. I do like Drummond. I think good upside tonight. Matt, that's it. We caught up.
Hudson said I can't find any less than 100 people. TJ, tell him your strategy real quick.
Hudson, I wait until about 15 to 20 minutes before the slate locks, and you will see a bunch of really good small single entry GPPs enter, and that is when I feast. So be patient, give it a little bit. Like right now, I'm looking. There's a fifth. It all depends on what you're willing to put down too. Like there's a good. I mean, there's a decent $50 one right now that's out of 45 people.
There's a good.
And again, they're going to continue to add more here. You just got to scroll down and just stay patient. You'll see some pop up.
Right. There's a good $5,000 buy-in for 10 people. That one's a good one.
Yeah, and there's $1,060 that I maxed out 20 entries tonight. Only in there, so I'm guaranteed money to do that too. No, we're kidding. Siakam or DeRozan? DeRozan for me. I love DeRozan. GPP line from Blake. We got LaMelo, Beal, Kyle Anderson, Patrick Williams, Brolo, Levine, THT, and Nwaba. I don't hate it. I love Levine tonight, man. I like those Chicago guys.
Don't hype TJ up.
TJ keeping it sexy with the stash. DJ, you like that, baby? It's not bad, isn't it? This is the beard that I grow. I'm a 29-year-old man. I'm a 29-year-old boy.
Facial hair at 28.
29-year-old boy. 29-year-old boy.
Facial hair. It doesn't exist for me.
This is how pathetic I am. My dad, real big, thick beard, and this is what I am. It's pathetic. Barton or MPJ. If Jamal Murray is out, I want MPJ. Derek White, DK Cash. I don't hate him as a last piece, honestly.
Yeah, I like him.
He's not fitting my builds, but like if you're landing there, I don't hate it. He is cheap, and he's been playing some pretty significant minutes. Good matchup against Golden State. He's looked pretty good since coming back from injury, so I don't hate him. Thad Young, his price tag's too expensive for me. All right, man, we get 622.
All right, we'll go ahead and get off.
Yeah, you're distracted anyway. So
I'm not distracted. I'm dying on the inside.
Okay. All right. Let's get off them.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully we did help. If you guys could show us some support, hit that like button. Also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. With all that being said, have a great rest of your night. Let's cash.
Love you guys. Good luck.